Hello everyone, welcome back to House of Chi Yoga. Today we're going to do just kind of a feel-good class, get everything moving. About a half an hour. Yeah, let's go for a half an hour. So let's begin in standing today. Let's start at the top of our mat, maybe about a foot or two away from the very edge of the mat. And just start by hanging, relaxing the arms, relaxing the shoulders. You don't need any props today, just need you and your mat, maybe some water by your side if you'd like. You can start reaching for opposite elbow. And again, we're just hanging. We're just feeling the body. We're checking in with the toes, opening up the feet. You can add some rolling around, moving through the ankles. And then let's just ground the feet and come to a center point and focus on our breathing. So if it's kind of intense to hang upside down, go ahead and bend your knees and let the chest kind of fall either to the thighs or maybe in between the thighs. From here, you can relax the head down and inhale, fill up the deep belly. Exhale, empty everything out. Inhale, fill up the deep belly. Exhale everything out. One more inhale to fill. Exhale, empty. We'll bring the hands down to the floor. If you can't touch the floor yet, you can just bend the knees more. And just feel the connection of the floor beneath you. Feel each fingertip on the floor. Maybe start rocking front to back so your weight is going from your hands to your feet. You can start lifting up the heels a little bit more, adding a little more weight to the palms. Make sure every fingertip is pushing down. And then just taking a moment to sit still and to find gratitude, something in your life, something you want to bring focus to, something to be grateful for. Feel free to say it out loud. I'll just think about all my gratitude. And then from there, let's come back into our quadruped position. So hands and knees down. Index fingers are facing forward. Take a few wraps through the shoulders. All I'm doing is loosening up the shoulder girdle. And then as I start this movement, the spine is going to start moving towards that cat-cow action. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to go deeper with my cat-cow as I'm opening up and starting to move through the shoulder girdle. Last one, keeping the arms long this time. Let's just go to our cat-cows. You're inhaling and exhaling with the movement. You're creating lots of space for the breath. And then we'll land after this last one, coming to a neutral spine, which just means tailbone about level with the shoulders. Let's let the hips sway right to left. Keep the upper body pretty still, so the hips are swaying and opening up the back body space, creating some stretch from the base of the ribs to the hip line. And then anything that feels good, you can bring the chest down, you can lean right to left through the rib cage. That always feels really good through the underarm, really good through that serratus anterior area. You can add some rolling front to back. I'm going to move forward, not all the way to a cobra pose, just kind of baby cobra to get the spine working, opening up. Can decide what I wanted to say there, so it just came out in a jumble. Last one. This time, let's come into our quadruped position and find a more active pose. So locking into the core, chest is open and broad, elbow creases are forward, and the neck is nice and long. No hanging heads here. Lift the head in line with the shoulders. Take one hand opposite toe, tap out, and come back to center. Reaching right to left. You're staying very focused on the abdominals as we reach. Let's go a few more each side. And then we'll keep the right hand and the left foot out, and just the right palm's going to lift and then tap the ground. Try not to lift and open. We're just lifting through the back body, through the back muscles, feeling the arms. Keep the hand open and wide. 2, now hold the right palm up and just slide the hand behind the head and reach forward again, working on the back body. Don't lose your core. Rib cage is pulling in tight. Last one. The right hand's going to stay behind the head. Lower the left knee. Inhale, right palm open. Now watch as I just exhale the elbow down towards the mat. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. 3 more breaths. We've got one more on this one. Take the right arm, thread all the way under. The palm is facing up, and I'm on top of the right shoulder. You can kind of wiggle around here, whatever feels good. Feel that right side shoulder opening, the scapula opening. You're feeling some space from the shoulder up along the side of the neck. And then we'll press it back through center. And let's shoot back to downward facing dog. Give it a little shake. Release the hips. Release the pressure off the knees for a moment. Exhaling out of the mouth. There's no pressure in the jaw. No pressure in the shoulders here. Coming back through center, we'll go left palm, right toes. Now locking into the core, back leg is nice and long. Lift the left palm. You're keeping the arm as long as you can. You're not just using the arm muscles, you're incorporating the back body on the left side as well. 2 and 1. This time we're going to hold and then just slide the hand directly behind the head. Feel your lat muscles still working into the back body. Don't lose the core here. Engage hips to ribs. 3. Squeeze. Last one, hand stays behind the head. I'm going to lower the back knee. Inhale, rise. Exhale, watch as I just gently round. Bring the elbow down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. 3 more breaths. You're going to think about pushing the head into the palm to add the twist through the torso. Last one, you're going to thread this time. The arm goes under, palm facing up. You can kind of wiggle around here. Feel the stretch under the scap. Stretch from the shoulder across the neck. Take a couple deep breaths. I love to move the hips here. It elongates through the QL muscles, works into the low back space. And then we'll go ahead and come back to center and take it back through our downward facing dog. Walking the knees, pulling the heels down. Push the floor away from you. Get the hips back and away. So now as you pull the heels down, you're working from the sitting bone all the way down to the heel. Bending both knees. You have 2 options. You can just walk the hands to the feet, or maybe you can just walk halfway and then you bring the feet up halfway. So whichever version works for you. We want to get our feet and our hands close. Now I'm going to turn sideways so you can see as I bend one knee, my other leg lengthens and I push the hip back. So I'm keeping a nice strong flat back. If you need to bring the hands up to the thighs here, you can do that as well. Or if you have a couch or a chair in front of you, you can also place your hands there. But what we're trying to do is get into the back of the hamstrings. We're keeping the feet planted. I'm staying active in my core, but I'm focused on lengthening all of this. You can add a little bit more movement side to side to, again, work all the way around the glute and up into the hips. Check in with the big toes. Keep the big toes down. I'm going to push a little bit more right to left. I'll go ahead and square forward. A little bit more right to left now so I can start working to the lateral hip, the IT band. And then coming back through center, and let's go through our first vinyasa. Toes go back to plank, chest is forward. I always lower my knees. Feel free to do your plank to push up however you'd like. Inhale, let's go up through cobra and hold our cobra position. If your shoulders are rounding forward, open up the chest, squeeze into the back muscles, lift the heart, lift the crown. Exhale, bring the chin down, push the floor away from you, tuck the ribs in, tuck the hips back, tuck the toes under, and then you're in downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Let's step or hop to the top. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Take a bind. Just grab onto the legs for a moment. Now release the hands and slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. The hands are going to come all the way to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then sink it down to your chair pose. So check in with the feet for a moment. I just like to unroll my feet. Make sure the whole foot is down. And I'm going to plant the feet, sink, and then bring elbows together and elbows open. Elbows together and elbows open. Don't lose your chair hold. And think about holding the elbows together and then releasing. Let's go 2 more. Ooh, my thighs must be tired today. Inhale, palms rise. Exhale to a fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot steps back. Any kind of movement front to back from here. So intuitive movement. Take a moment to listen to your body. See what feels good. Check in with the hips. Check in with the knees and the ankles. And then we're going to lower into our low lunge. So right knee goes down. Left foot is forward. Hands are to the inside. I'm going to keep my back toes tucked under for now. And notice my knee and hip are not in one line. I'm extended forward so I can get the stretch across the hip flexors here. So if you're up here, we don't have any stretch on the hip flexors. Sink down into that stretch. From that point, if this feels very tight, just hold here. If you're familiar with this pose, if you've been working on the hips, I did a workout this morning, so I know my hip flexors, everything is nice and warm. I'm going to go ahead and add a cat-cow type of motion with the upper body. And as I round and pull my hip to my rib, it's going to create a deeper stretch across that right side hip flexor. Try to stay low and in the posture. We're going for one more. Exhale. Tuck your back toes if they're not under already, and then let's shift back to our downward facing dog. Any kind of pedaling or shaking out you need here. And then bend the knees and step or hop to a wide straddle. Inhale, flat. Hold your flat back and move just the rib cage. Now, as you move the rib cage around, we have to learn how to isolate things. So I'm moving my ribs by using my abdominal muscles. My feet are pushing down to activate the legs, to activate the low core, deep belly muscles. Any kind of movement you want through the rib cage. Maybe you can even float the hands and reach right to left. That's going to add a lot more back body work. Maybe you can circle, you can reach across and tap. All while you're moving navel and up, the navel and down is working on stabilizing and grounding. Bending both knees, let's just shift lunge to lunge, pushing the floor away from you through the feet. And then coming through center, inhale, rise. We're going to do a few wide squats here. So I like to pull my heels in just to protect my knees. I just pivoted my heels in slightly. Try to get hips all the way down to knee level. Let's go 3, 2, last one, hold. Fingertips down. Use your hands to counterbalance and just rock around. Check in with the hips for a moment. Hands underneath the shoulders. Step it to plank. Your version, chaturanga. Inhale through cobra. And then exhale back to our downward facing dog. Bend the knees, step or hop up. Inhale, flat back. This time the left foot is stepping back for our low lunge. So remember, we don't want the knee and hip in one line. We want to be opening up through the hip flexors. Any interpretive movement here, you can shift around, you can move right to left. You can go all the way front to back. And then landing forward in our stretch. I'm keeping my back toes tucked under for now, palms flat to the inside of the right foot. So again, if this feels really tight, if this is where your stretch is at, stay here. I know I've already done a lot of work on my hips this morning, so I'm safe to move on to the cat-cow type of posture. So I'm going to keep my right knee close to the shoulder. I'm going to add the cat-cow spine and go deeper into the left hip flexors. Whew, this definitely feels a little bit tighter than the other side. And you're just moving very minimally, keeping it small and focused on the hips. Especially the first few, checking in with everything. Let's round. And then come back through center. Back toes are going to stay tucked under. Lift up. And then any kind of movement front to back one more time here. From there, I'm going to bring the left foot forward this time. So instead of going back to our downward facing, I'm going to load up onto my front leg and come to Imalasana stance. Now heels definitely go in for this one, toes go out. I don't want the knees curling in. I want the knees pushing wide. You can use the elbows, lift up through the heart here. You can also take a moment to get a pillow, a block, something to sit on if you're kind of struggling to get into this position. Fingertips are coming together at heart center. See if you can simultaneously push the knees away and just let the booty lift a little bit. Push the floor away from you through the feet for 3, 2, don't give up. Let's move the elbows off the knees and come up a little bit higher. 3, 2, 1, all the way to stand, toes forward. Bend towards the right side. Let the left hip push out and away from the body. Inhale back through center. Exhale, bend towards the left side. Right hip pushes out and away. One more breath each side. Inhale. Exhale right. Inhale. Exhale left. Inhale. Exhale. Let the arms sweep back and away. You inhale to rise. You exhale to sweep. These are audible exhales if you'd like, and it's always out of the mouth. One more. Chair pose, palms up and overhead. Roll the thumbs to the back wall. Sink it a little bit deeper. Keep holding. Maybe float the toes. Maybe you can float one ball of foot at a time. So I'm kind of peeling my foot up. I really feel the front of the ankle, the shins working. I'm going to go doubles. I'm going to try that. 2 and 1. Inhale, rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale through chaturanga, cobra, and then all the way onto the belly from your cobra. I'm going to wiggle it on back here a little bit. So fingertips are going wide. And first, just find some movement through the shoulders. Just kind of letting the shoulders roll forward and then pulling them back. Land with the shoulders back, the scabs pulling together, and then float the palms. I like taking my toes under and pushing into the floor. So now my legs are actually floating off the floor. I'm nice and active. Palms are reaching forward, driving the elbows towards the hips. This is a lot of back body work. You can imagine holding a weight in the hand. Sometimes that helps. We're trying to use the back muscles though, and we're not trying to stay in the traps, these upper towards the neck muscles. Find the mid-back region. Let's go for 3, squeeze. 2, squeeze. Lift up a little bit higher for this last one. And then just alternate a little right to left. I don't know what you'd call this, teeter-totter? A little teeter-totter right to left. Stay in the back body, navel's pulling to spine. Even though our belly is on the floor, we're still engaging the deep belly muscles. 2 and 1. Now fingertips are going to go down. You're reaching across and then pulling right back to the same position. This is a little bit less of an active posture. It's more like an active stretch. So we're stretching and then pulling everything back in. Our serratus anterior, our, let's see, intercostal muscles on the ribs. Let's go one more time. Bring the hands underneath the chin. Heels come up and just windshield wipe right to left. A lot of work for the back, a lot of work for the hips and the glutes sometimes. Just let everything kind of shake out. And then from there, we'll go toes together, knees wide, and press it back into a child's pose. You can flip the palms up, forehead to the floor, take a little breather. And then we'll roll forward from quadruped, roll back into our downward facing. And we're going to do a little flow. Bend the knees, step or hop to the top. Inhale, flat. Exhale to fold. Inhale, bring it up to stand. Palms lift. Hands to heart. Inhale, palms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale to flat. Exhale through your version, chaturanga. You can always just go plank straight to downward facing as well. Once we're in downward facing, let's inhale, right toes up. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, right toes up. Exhale, right knee to nose. And then place the right foot to midline. Lower your back heel. We'll inhale to a reverse. Keep the right knee bent. And exhale to side angle, pressing the palms at the heart. So you can see I'm keeping my elbow off my thigh. If you need to, place it there, but I'm going to just hold in my core. Push the floor away from you through the feet. The left foot, especially that back leg, is extending. Try to get the pinky tip to the ground. You can add a few pulses through this right leg here, just sinking into this right leg squat. 3, 2, and then I'm going to shift forward. Right hand goes up and maybe slightly to the right, and the back heel is going to float. You can keep the left palm on the ground for now. So flex your back foot and try to open the top hip. As I open the top hip, I'm going to make sure my big toe is down and my abdominals are holding closed. If you release your abs here, likely your butt is going to pull your weight and you'll fall. So glutes are active, abs are active, lifting and lengthening from the heart to the crown. Maybe you can peel the left palm up. You're in a half moon here. Use the back foot to extend towards the back wall. We're extending in all directions here. Navel to your spine. Take one more breath. And then exhale, bring the left palm down first. Square the hips to the mat. Left foot goes behind the right. And I'm in a short pyramid stance. So you can see my feet are on train tracks, but my left foot is just slightly behind. Now, pull the right toes up and bring the forehead as close as you can get to the right shin. Probably what's happening is this space on the right side is closing off. So I'm going to take my hand and just push my right hip back and then sink a little deeper. Again, now you should really feel the right hamstring, right calf, maybe all the way down to the ankle here. Take one more breath. Exhale, right foot plants, left foot follows. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale all the way through your version, chaturanga. Inhale through cobra. And exhale to your downward facing. Inhale, left toes rise. Exhale, open the hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left knee to nose. Left foot inside the palms. Lower the back heel. You're inhaling to your reverse warrior front leg stayed. And then exhaling through to your side angle. So I'm pressing the palms, opening the heart, not resting on the thigh if you can help it. If you need to, of course, put the elbow down to the thigh. You can add a little pulse here. Use the feet, push the floor away from you, especially that back toe. Try to keep it planted down. 3, squeeze your glute muscles, and hold. Now the left hand is going forward this time. So I'm gonna load up, take it forward and slightly out. You can keep the right hand down for now. Watch my back leg. I'm gonna extend it and then open. I'm gonna get a nice stack. So everything is stacked above this left leg. So big toe is down, core is locked in so my butt doesn't pull me over. If you want, the right hand goes up. Feel the length you're expressing from all directions in this posture. Back heel is very active, kicking you towards the back wall. Right palm is lifting and expanding the chest. Keep breathing for 3. And then bringing the right hand down. Now I'm gonna square the hips. Right foot goes to that short pyramid stance. Left toes rise. Remember, you're on train track. So my feet are not in one line. There's space in between, but my right foot is farther. So all the same things on this side. Forehead goes down. Probably this left side space is doing a little crunch. So I'm going to take my hand and push my left hip back and then fold deeper. Now I feel that good stretch through the hamstring, the calf. Ooh, I feel it all the way down to the ankle. One more breath here. And then as we exhale, plant the left foot, right foot follows. Inhale flat. Exhale your version, chaturanga. Inhale through cobra. And exhale to our downward facing. Bend the knees, step or hop up. Inhale flat. Exhale fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale hands to heart. Let's do it again. Inhale rise. Exhale fold. Inhale to flat. Exhale chaturanga. Inhale cobra. Exhale downward facing. Inhale right toes. Open the hip. Inhale long. Exhale knee to nose. Warrior 2 stance. Inhale reverse. See if you can go straight to side angle. Right palm extends forward. Inhale half moon. Exhale to pyramid fold. Shift forward, feet together. Inhale flat. Exhale your version, chaturanga. I know we're moving fast. Inhale through cobra. Exhale through your downward facing. Let's see if we can finish our left side. Inhale, left toes rise. Exhale, open. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant the foot. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Left palm down. Inhale, half moon. Exhale, square, lower the back toes, pyramid. Feet together. Inhale, flat. Exhale, your version, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale, downward facing. Let's stay here in downward facing. Anything you need. I know I didn't give you much warning that we were going to move one breath, one movement with those. Just kind of happened, but it felt natural and it felt good. We're going to go through one more time. Bend the knee, step or hop. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. So at any time as we're moving one breath, one movement, if it gets a little confusing, you get a little lost, don't worry about it. Just focus on your breath, and you can always do any kind of movement you want to do and meet us back in downward facing dog. So don't get uncomfortable, just have fun with it. No worries, no one's watching. Inhale, palms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right toes up. Bend the knee or flip your dog this time. Inhale, rise if you flipped your dog. Exhale, back to your downward facing. Right toes up. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant the foot, lower the back heel. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale as you go to half moon. And exhale as you square to pyramid. Feet together. Inhale, flat. Exhale, your version, chaturanga. Inhale through cobra. Exhale to our downward facing. Last time through. Inhale, left toes up. Exhale, bend the knee, stay here, or flip your dog. Inhale if we flipped your dog. Exhale, back to your downward facing. Inhale, left toes up. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant the foot. Inhale as you go reversed. Exhale as you go side angle. Inhale as you go half moon. Exhale as you go pyramid. Inhale as you step forward. And sink it all the way down. Instead of flowing through your vinyasa, you're going to just check your range of motion in your squat. So my knees are going into my armpits. If you can get them there, awesome. If you can't, open your knees up for a malasana. If your knees are in your armpits, just roll around and connect to your lymph system here. That was a fun little flow. I hope I kept it even on both sides. I get into those flows and I love the vinyasa aspect and start breathing and moving, and then I forget I'm teaching a class, but it's so fun. I enjoy it so much. I'm glad we got to share that. Okay, from here, let's go to seated and just give ourselves a little wide Baddha Konasana. So I'm in butterfly, but there's plenty of space from my heels to my groin. Use the hands to hold the lower leg. Use the elbows to massage across the upper leg. You can even go a little deeper. Press up into the hip flexors. Whew, we went for a little jog this morning. This feels great. I'm actually going to take this all the way down into my calf. So just keep using your own hands. Never underestimate the work that you can do with your own hands on your body. Just softening into the tissues and the muscles, getting blood flowing. And then let's move the feet about hips distance and just let the knees windshield wipe. You can go a little wider if that's more comfortable. And then we'll take a deer pose on the right side. So I'm shifting to the right, checking in with my legs. Both are in a 90. I'm going to make space on this left side inner thigh to groin. So I'm just going to move my leg out so my hip has to fall down. So if you saw me before I was here, I want to pull it open, sit up nice and tall. Now, if this is enough stretch, great. If you feel really tight, you need to add little teeny bits of movement here to soften into the hip muscles, do that. And you can also go down into a forward fold. So you're trying not to lean all the way to the right. You're trying to come a little bit more squared, but that is a harder posture, so feel free to go to the right. You just want to feel a stretch on the hips somewhere. I'm going to go all the way to the ground here. Take a deep breath. Intentional exhales now, calming the nervous system. Intentional exhales to relax the muscles. And then we'll go ahead and lift up from there. Your front leg, so it's my right leg, I'm going to tuck in close to the body so I can then roll towards a modified pigeon. This is just to hit my quad muscles. My right arm is going to reach up and back for the heel. If you cannot bind, do not worry about doing this one. You can just hold in your modified pigeon here and pull the foot up if you like. If you can get the bind, you're pulling the heel to the butt to sink deeper into the quads. And gently releasing, shifting to the right side, butt cheek, and going left side, deer pose. The same things on this side. You have your 90 and a 90. I'm going to open up that inner groin area. Feel a nice stretch here. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you add little tiny movements on the hips. And then maybe you can shift all the way forward as well. Remember, you have to find the pose. This is for the hips, so if you need to move right, if you need to move left, find whatever works for you today. And then rolling it up here before I fall asleep. That felt so wonderful. Pull your front foot in, back leg long, little modified pigeon. You can stay here. I'm going to circle my left arm back to catch. So it's the opposite bind. And pull the heel to the butt to get deeper to the quads. Long exhales. Sinking deeper into your muscles. And then gently releasing, left butt cheek down, coming back through center. Let's go all the way onto the back for this last one. And it's one of my favorite stretches. It's creating a C curve or a banana shape. So I'm gonna show you on the side, and then I'll turn the long way so you can kind of see from there. So right now my body is a nice long line. My left leg is gonna walk up and out. My right leg is going to walk up and on top. So if this hip comes really high, go a little bit more towards center, because it's okay if the hip comes up a little bit, but we still want to stay hips relatively squared to the ceiling. We're trying to open up and lengthen the space on the outer hip here. So if our hip comes off the ground, we lose that stretch. So try to keep the hip close to the ground. If this feels like a deep stretch, stay there. If you want to bring the arms up, you can also move the upper body towards the left side. Now my body is in this one big C curve or banana shape. So I'm going to do it towards the mirror now. I'm from center, left foot steps, right foot goes on top, arms come up, and I reach towards the left side. Now I have this nice C curve. And just take a few breaths here. You have to be intentional about releasing the outer hip here. A lot of times we are holding our muscles around the hip to protect the bones, which is of course good, protects the ligaments in the joint. But for this posture, we want to intentionally let go of those main muscles around the hip and let some space happen. Let's take 2 more breaths here. You start feeling this into the belly. I always feel it into the low back area. And I actually usually get some nice little hip click adjustments when I'm holding this posture. So I feel some little clicking happening. I don't know if it's the fascia or the joints, but it always feels good. Bringing the arms back through center first, and then just sliding the top leg up and close to the body. Once you get that leg in, you can adjust the other leg. Let's just move around, let the hips go back to place. And then we'll go into the other side. I'm just going to stay facing you for the sake of time. So now my right leg goes across, my left foot goes on top. My arms go up and to the right. So we're just creating that banana shape, the C curve on the left side of the body now. Take some deep breaths. Intentionally releasing through the hip muscles. And feel the low back space softening. Deep breaths, long exhales. Checking in with the hip muscles, relaxing one more time. And then bringing the arms through center, sliding the top leg up nice and slow. Bringing both knees to the chest. Anything you would like to do here, you can do some circling. As I circle, I let the low back pop off the floor, and then I can get a massage all the way around the sacrum. You can go legs up. Feel free to stay there. You can do some little twisting for the spine. We didn't do too much twisting in today's practice. And then I always finish all my classes with a Supta Baddha Konasana, a reclined Supta Baddha. It just always adjusts my whole spine. So I like to finish my day with this. Feet together in butterfly, and the wrists go right at the hip. On the exhale, you lock the arms out. So you have to make sure the belly is soft, everything's relaxed. So as you lock the arms out, it will likely adjust your spine. You'll feel some cracks and pops. On the exhale, ooh, I always get quite a few there. That felt great. And then you gently release the pressure. Take the hands to the belly for a moment and breathe. Of course, staying here and enjoying Shavasana for as long as you'd like. Hope you enjoyed that practice today. That was a fun quickie to get the heart rate up a little bit, get moving, open up the joints. That just felt like an overall healthy, nice, relaxing flow. So hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll see you next time on House of Chi.